If all has gone right and I'm posting this on time, it's Black Friday today. You might be a bit confused because there have been a few Black Fridays this week, this month, this year. Cyber Monday is probably coming up at some point or has already come up. There's always a sale. It's always a bargain. Maybe not, because to be honest, between the fake sales, the inflated pricing that we're already experiencing with the cost of living crisis, the dystopian nature of the phrase cost of living crisis, it's all a bit of a mess. I know you're probably looking at the title of the video. If you have been here before, I have thoughts again. And if you're new, hi, please listen to those thoughts. One of the things that I think I originally set out to do with this channel was to just talk about things that I'm passionate about. And one of those things being the issue of consumption, the rate of it, and how we relate to the items that we own, the items we surround ourselves with. The clothes that I'm wearing now, the clothes that you're probably wearing now, the blanket that you're covering yourself with, the socks on your feet, probably the rug on your floor, it's probably plastic. It's plastic. By this point, you've probably been inundated with a lot of content about the dangers of plastic, and yet we continue to have it surrounding us because it is unavoidable at this point. It is in the air that we breathe. And I come on here and I make a cute little video telling you to consume less of it. How, I don't know, but then you leave a like, you feel accomplished that you've learned something today, and then we carry on living as normal. I think in my original videos, it would feel like I've provided a real solution. Just thrift, just try and shop secondhand at least, so that we're circulating the items that exist. But the problem that left me feeling exhausted and therefore made the 2-year gap that you can see on this channel is that people have also been on the side online that has taught them the answers to rebut those arguments. So I can't shop secondhand. I don't have the time to peruse the aisles. I don't have the resources to peruse for vintage items. I don't have the amount of money to spend on a more sustainable item. Or you are so privileged, you don't see that people don't have the time. You don't see that people don't have the resources. And it is futile for you to be having this conversation anyway, forgetting that this is the same internet where I will go on TikTok. Yes, unfortunately, I am now on TikTok. I will go on TikTok and be confronted with a gym kit haul, a clothing haul, a shopping spree, an unboxing, millions and millions of them with millions of views. It is undeniable that we desire consumption. It is not something that we feel we are lacking a certain amount of resource and time, and therefore we can't invest in good quality pieces, or we desire consumption. We want to be able to buy to our heart's content without any thought of the amount of work and care that it takes to produce every single item individually that is in that pile, that is in that room, that is in that shop. It's not a care of the collective consciousness, at least not online. It's not something, it's been a conversation for a while that I feel like actually is dying out. The conversation on sustainable fashion or sustainable consumption or minimalism, whatever you want to call it. There was a brief period where de-influencing became very popular, and de-influencing, because it was a trend, was taken on by people who, if you scroll down even just 1 second on their page, were encouraging high amounts of consumption. But because it's now trendy to seem as though you consume within your means, they created the image that they were not over consuming. But the reality is, the people who were already living or are already living within their means, or even with less than, do not need to be de-influenced. The people who are overconsuming overconsume because it is socially acceptable. We have not gotten to a point where it is socially unacceptable to be greedy, because it is greed. Yes, we are also victims of marketing and the general cultural hegemony that says those with status, those with power have masses and masses of insert whatever desirable thing to you in that moment, but we've not made it culturally unacceptable to be in excess of anything. So when a trend like de-influencing comes along, then suddenly, oh, maybe in this moment I would be looked at a bit differently if I'm showing my 50,000 Stanley Cups. Let me pretend to, and it was so obvious. I'm not going to show any examples of it because I don't want anyone specifically to be attacked. But because the de-influencing trend was co-opted by maybe not the best representatives for it, no, people who don't actually know what it is like to have to live under your means, it became a trend rather than a way of life. As is most things on the internet, it's a trend, it's a phase that will come in and leave as quickly as it came in. And I say all this to say, and please don't cave into anything that's being sold this Black Friday unless you already had a list, unless it is something that you need, that you see use for, perpetual use for in your life. Please do not fall for marketing. Please do not fall for the fake price falls. Sometimes those numbers are completely faked, and this has been proven multiple times by multiple people on this and other platforms. Please don't do that. But more importantly, I say all this to say, for those of you who have seen my content before, and for those of you new here who the algorithm has brought here somehow, I'm back because I would like to explore new ways to have this conversation, because it does need to continue happening, because consumption keeps happening, and it unfortunately does need to be a cultural change, one that in my life I feel I do influence in other ways in how I live my life, in my work, but I can maybe also do a small part in my online community. And I do appreciate the community that I had built here, but from the last time I was here, I felt that I was maybe stuck in the certain language or the certain opinions that were now not necessarily expected of me, but that I had, and I had no way to develop elsewhere because I was just stuck here and not necessarily living in the impact of opinions like mine or lack thereof, because it has taken not being on YouTube for a while, touching grass, to really see whether or not conversations about sustainability are even impacting the real world. And to be honest, I don't think they are as much as they should be. I think it was trendy for a point, and that energy has fallen away. I'm not sure if it's to do if it's going to get worse due to current events that have happened and just the general fatigue of lead voices in the field, or I'm not sure what it is, but I think I was wrong in thinking that this platform was completely unnecessary, because it is. So if you would like to stick around to listen to those thoughts, then please stay subscribed or become subscribed. But otherwise, I will see you next time for a fuller length video. Thank you. Bye.